Hello everybody, this is Stonewall, and yesterday was the the gameplay reveal event for Borderlands 3. And then about an hour stream of, just showing gameplay and that sort of thing of the next Borderlands game. So what I wanted to do, and the reason I'm stuttering and talking weird right now is because I'm actually playing, what I wanted to do is go over a couple of things that I noticed in the gameplay or in the trailers and some of the live streams afterwards, because several YouTubers and streamers were there and streamed gameplay and that sort of thing. So one of the things that Randy Pitchford said that needed a little bit of clarification was he said no microtransactions, and came out later that what he meant by that was no loot boxes and you're not getting guns by spending real money. There will be cosmetic microtransactions from what I've found. So that's, some people flat out called him a liar, and there was a bit of a blow up on Twitter from what I understand. So yeah, not the greatest thing. But anyways, with regards to the movement in Borderlands 3, you can now slide. So very nice thing. A lot of games have that at this point. You know, most first-person shooters have some sort of a slide mechanic. Oh, come on. Somebody here. There we go. But very nice to see that come to Borderlands as well. Oh, lovely. Come on. Again? Wow. I'm going down a lot right now. But yeah, another thing kind of along the same line as the along the same line as the sliding is mantling. So in this game, well, in Borderlands 2 of course, there is no mantle mechanic. You basically just have a jump. So if you don't time it right or whatever, you barely touch your foot on the side of the cliff and you can't get up. Can be a little bit frustrating, but in Borderlands 3 there is a mantle mechanic, which is really nice. So a lot of quality of life type changes, which is again really nice to see them doing. Next up we have cover that decays. So stuff like this, these little pieces right here, as you shoot it in Borderlands 3, it starts to break down and eventually could be completely destroyed and not useful for cover anymore. Again, really nice getting more dynamic environments and that sort of thing. Of course, that also may make it more difficult for certain boss fights. I'm thinking of what you had to do at the end of the Torg campaign, or what you can do, using a barricade or a barrier like that to keep from getting hit by certain area of effect and Nova type attacks, but we'll see how that goes. Next up is the barrels. So the explosive barrels in the game, like, not that one. Where are some explosive barrels? I know there's some over here. Well, they've exploded, that's the problem. But in Borderlands 3, you're able to melee those and send them flying towards enemies, which is really cool. Actually, they showed somebody killing a boss that way. They meleeed an explosive barrel and then shot it and blew up the boss, which was kind of creative, pretty neat there. Next up is most of the guns we saw used had multiple fire modes. There were some snipers that had shotgun modes. There were, well, the Malawan weapons all have secondary elements. So there'd be some that would be fire and corrosive that you could switch between, which is really nice. You don't have to switch weapons, just change modes, that sort of thing, which is pretty nice. And then they mentioned special weapon drops. So, for example, a boss uses a kind of unique weapon, and you're able to pick that up from him, or he drops that particular weapon, which is kind of missing from Borderlands 2, but I believe was in Borderlands 1, if I understand correctly. I haven't played Borderlands 1 nearly as much as Borderlands 2, so it's just one of those... how did I miss? There we go. Got both of them. So again, kind of neat thing to look at. There we go. Next up was using your mini-map. So from the mini-map, you're able to pull up and see all of the fast travel locations in that area, and you can, from anywhere in the map, you can automatically go to any of those fast travel locations, which is very, very nice for big maps. Especially if there's some that have multiple fast travel locations across them. Definitely useful. Another thing is the vending machines got reworked a little bit. So all the vending machines in the game have weapons of the day or special things. Like I can show you right here on this one. The item of the day is this skin over here. On the vending machines in Borderlands 3, all you have to do is get a little bit close and look at them, and that item will pop up. You don't even have to select the vending machine. Also, on these ammo ones, you can walk up, hold Y, and it will buy whatever ammo you need to max out all of your ammo, or to reload all of your ammo, which is really nice. Just, again, quality of life improvements, quite a few quality of life improvements in this game. The next one is a big one, automatic pickup. So whenever you are opening chests and stuff to refill your ammo or pick up money or whatever, it will automatically pick up all of the ammo that it can, which is very nice. And then when it comes to legendary weapons being dropped, the little beam, so for any item you see this beam right here coming up, the legendary is at least twice as tall as any of the others, which makes it stand out really well. There's actually an audio cue for whenever a legendary drops. There's even an audio cue for like purples and that sort of thing. So again, lots of quality of life stuff. And another kind of big one is that the mini-map has a little gold star on it for whenever a legendary drops. So you can look at your mini-map and be able to tell if you got a legendary weapon from it. So a lot of really nice quality of life stuff in there. Poor turret. They also showed some stuff with the different characters. So I think Zane, the operative, is able to trade out his ability to use grenades with a second action skill. So like my action skill for Axton here is the turret, and Zane has 3 possible action skills. Well, I think all of the characters have 3 possible action skills, but most of the time you can only equip 1. He can equip 2, but give up the ability to use grenade mods. So it's kind of an interesting trade-off, and with multiple action skills available, you're able to have more variety in builds for each character, I think. So pretty nice. Even Amara, the Siren, seems to be a melee focused character, but also has an ability very similar to Maya's Phase Lock, which can work at decent range. So you can either play her as a melee character and use like her ground pound ability and that sort of stuff, or you can use basically the phase lock type ability and stick to further range. And each of the skill trees, such as this, each one is kind of focused on a particular action skill. Or a certain aspect of the character. So similar to the way these work, survivability or DPS, damage per second or whatever, they're kind of separated out that way. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on it September 13th, which is actually on a Friday, so it's very fitting for the game to launch on a Friday the 13th. So I'm definitely hopeful that the cosmetic microtransactions don't get too crazy. So it's just one of those things that I hope doesn't hurt the game. And I'm sure the core gameplay mechanics, everything looks good, and all of that. I kind of wish I would have captured some of the gameplay from the event, but wasn't really sure the rules on all of that. And how all that works, because I didn't capture any gameplay myself because I didn't go to the event. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this, mainly talking about it. I'm sure you can get that information just by watching the event and all of that, but kind of a fairly quick recap here while I'm playing some Borderlands 2. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully that gets you a little bit more excited for the game. And all of that. So if there's any questions you had, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to know, or my opinion on anything. I think the game looks good. Of course, it's still a demo that they got to play. They didn't get a chance to get hands-on with the entire game. And for some reason, we still have not seen the skill trees or any gameplay from Flak and Mose, the other two Vault Hunters. We've only seen Zane and Amara, and that's all they had available at the event from what I could tell. So anyways, hopefully we'll see that at another event. I think they said they listed several conferences and events that they're going to have the game at and be talking more about it. So it's only a couple months away, September. So hopefully we'll get hands on it with it soon. And I'll see you in another video.